It's December 26th, and I decided I wanted to show some exercises, some physical therapy I've learned. Today I've been highly activated. I got a lot of energy, and it's been a couple days since I've done my physical therapy, but I've had to take it easy. Emotionally, psychologically, I'm rather inward turned, and it's sort of a what came first, the chicken or the egg kind of situation, where am I really this way, or was it outside circumstances that precipitated my resolution of conflicts by turning inward for the answers, for turning inward for resolution and a release from the stress. It could be also said that because I'm inward turned, naturally, innately, as a result of my innate constitution, that what I experienced outwardly only affirmed that I turn inward. Anyway, about it, let us say that something activates us outwardly to go outward, and all situations are blocked, or all avenues are blocked to go out. So we're stuck with this energy, this activation being activated. Well, we've got to do something with it. I came to a point, I can look back on my life, hindsight's 20/20, and I can say I could have done other things, different things. However, they weren't natural to me. In fact, they seemed antithetical, or went totally against my nature. The only avenues of expression out there available to me seemed completely contrary to the values I held within myself. And I can look back and I can say, well, I could have, but in the moment I couldn't. And well, there were situations where physically I injured my back repeatedly, and over about a 10-year period of time I had 2 surgeries, long recoveries, and then a final third injury, which all the surgeons agreed was hit or miss. I was told by one surgeon that the average recovery for a first back surgery, I had a laminectomy the first time, where they remove part of the bone in the spine to go inside. I had a free-floating fragment in there, pinching my spinal canal. Those are 50-50. The first surgery is about 50-50. 50% the same or worse, 50% the same or better. The second surgery is approximately 70-30. 70 the same or worse, 30% the same or better. And on the third time around, when I went to see my surgeon that had done the second surgery, which the second surgery was a discectomy, I had another bulge above the previous level, low back, lumbar region. And he told me, well, you got an 80 to 90% chance of being the same or worse, Damon. And I trusted him because, he was the one after the first surgery that told me, listen, I want you to do absolutely everything you possibly can do as long as it doesn't hurt. And he agreed with my first surgeon that I should never go back to work. However, I went through the system, and the system repeatedly told me, oh no, you're not that bad. Social Security denied me repeatedly, and as a young man, my first surgery was at 21. You know, I did as I was told. You know, if the Social Security says I'm fine, well, then I must have to go back. And within 12 months, I needed another surgery. Both times, you know. So, this last time I said, "Phew," that was it. But the injuries may very well have been as a result of the blockage of energy, activation, the desire to live a life, and not being able to go forward. Now, when you're inward turned, from my studies that I've done in the last few years, since I made the final resolution to do as my doctors told me and not go back to work, you know, you get stir crazy when you don't have something to do. So in my studies, luckily, I've had a wonderful guide, Shelley David Powers, and he said, you need to read this book and this book and this book, and, you know, gave me something to do. And I discovered that the inner journey requires, is just as dangerous as the outward journey. It's just as entailed. One can get lost going within with self-analysis, which I don't recommend for everybody. It's just like exercise. You know, I'm going to give some exercises here for my daily regimen that I do. And as most people who are doing instruction, they say don't start any exercises without going to your doctor first and getting an okay. Well, the same thing with going within. It should be guided. It should be done carefully. And I guess generally speaking, it can't come to much harm. But for some people, depending on the situation, it can be very dangerous. It can be very destabilizing. So, in my process, what went hand in hand with this inner journey was all this physical therapy, and I'm very grateful for my employer having the kind of insurance, and California having the kind of legislation that says that a person in my situation injured at work, as I was this last time, and the previous 2 times as well, as a direct result of work, but neither here nor there. This final time I was bestowed the boon of quite a few excellent physical therapists, and they were very kind, very compassionate, and that's what was what was needed. I was incapable of doing my physical therapy as they had hoped or wished for me, but I had a lot going on inside, that inner journey kind of stuff that I had to go through. And so after the insurance had ran out with the physical therapy, I had learned what I needed to learn, but I began this inner journey of self-teaching and self-learning in direct relationship to my pain. My pain was that great motivator. And I learned that there's 2 kinds of pain for me. It helped me to categorize it, which is very common for the inward turn nature, is to want to categorize and that kind of thing, because anything's possible within. It doesn't have the limitations of, you know, physics on the outside. So I realized there's healthy pain and there's toxic pain. The healthy pain I recover from relatively quickly, and the toxic pain either I don't recover from, leaves me permanently damaged, or requires a great deal of rest and recovery time. So I had to learn for myself what was okay and what was not okay, and I couldn't do this in the physical therapy sessions, because the physical therapist is there to regulate and moderate, and if I overdid it, then they could fix it. They could massage me, hot water, you get in the hot tub. They had all kind of treatment plans to bring me back from having gone too far. But the key is learning not to go too far, to go just to that point where you're building your strength rather than causing the injury to be inflamed again. It's a fine line. And they were on a timeline. They had to teach me these things and get me through a certain amount of education in how to take care of my body in relationship to my injury in a limited amount of time. And so they sort of gave me the they gave me the typical thing, but I recommend physical therapists as a way to help get you through your blockages.